Really quickly, I just wanted to announce that I will be streaming the broadcast of COD Next right here on this YouTube channel. I will also have beta codes to give away. So if you're interested and want some beta codes, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss when I'm going live for that. And thank you again to Call of Duty for the opportunity. Now on to the zombies reveal. The day is finally here for the Black Ops 7 Zombies gameplay reveal. There's also 2 blog posts, I think, going into like all the different information, but it all starts with the trailer reveal. This is probably going to be another long one. I'm going to try as hard as I can to get through all the information as fast as possible. Appreciate y'all clicking on the video, but let's get straight into it. I'm excited to see this. Come on, baby. Ooh.
I know. Y'all are confused. So was I.
Pyramid again. Dinner is served.
But as they
Something
say,
lie.
this too shall pass.
This too shall pass. I mean, the map looks aesthetically incredible. Yeah, we already see this, but it's still so cool. I'll watch it again. Ted. Oh, you can like pop his head out. Old Tessie.
Old Tessie and Ted together again. Burn rubber.
Nice. Phenomenal song choice too. Were they in dresses? Yo, these zombies look incredible. Oh, those are the denizens or whatever they're going to be called in this game. Sick shot. Reclaim your souls. So this is souls that reclaimed. Diner, that's what that looks like. Toxic growth is back, dude. What? I know Dallas was going crazy. My friend Dallas.
Definitely wasn't English breakfast.
Wisp tea, so we know what it's called now. Wonder weapon. It's like a fist weapon. Okay, so it shoots stuff like spikes. The bear. Ugh, it looks gruesome, man. What a trailer, though.
Survival in the beta.
We get to play in the beta, dude. Ugh, that thing looks gnarly. Oh, gotta take it back to the beginning, but dude, we get to play zombies in the beta, bro. I'm so excited for that. I don't think we've ever been able to play zombies in the beta. It's like only been multiplayer stuff. What a trailer. I mean, okay, sorry. I'm so taken aback by the fact that we get to play zombies in the beta. So now I'm sitting here thinking, am I going to play multiplayer or zombies first? We'll see what my friends want to do. I'm up for doing whatever they want to do, but I mean, sick trailer. Gotta go through it slowly now, see what we can pick out of it. So we get like the first shots. So it looks like the truck Old Tessie is upgradable because this is like the normal version. It has like the skull on the front. So this is the first like I guess zoomed out view of the map that we get. I can see that's a trap handle right there. It's like a bell. I would assume that there's something with an Easter egg dealing with that bell. I don't know what this is. I'm assuming that this is a trap because it's got like horns on it. Maybe that attracts them to it. And then these. It kind of looks like saw blade. Yeah, it looks like saw blades on it. Just aesthetic. They nailed it. What is that? Some sort of like box, glowing box of something. I can't really tell what's in it, but this is like the barn, I guess. Zombies looks like they're gonna be in cars, similar to like Black Ops 7. Or sorry, 6. And then you get a quick shot, very quick shot of the pyramid. Here's an even better one. So like this is pretty much the exact shot that was in the glasses of whatever the warden or whatever he's called. That like stole the souls of the cast, the main cast. My friend was telling me that there was something similar to this on like the moon in one of the previous maps. I don't really know what all this means, but I'm sure people who have been zombie diehards know all about it. So. And you get this shot here. What a shot. Dinner is served. The twins lie. Who are the twins? Stamina Up is here, like in this building. The only thing I can think of with the twins is like the warden. He has like the two skulls or whatever. So like, I don't know that they can talk, but I don't know. That's what comes to mind to me. There's that trap handle again. I believe this was the teaser that they shared yesterday. There's that box of something again, as well as this. I'm pretty sure this was all in the teaser. I'm pretty sure that's an arsenal machine right there. You have the I don't know that we is this the teleporters that we saw? I'm assuming that's what that is. This is obviously the Project Janus logo from Janus Towers. We have Death Perception up there. An above shot. I mean, this place looks crazy, man. I'm loving the way that this looks. There's like a red mark on the roof right there. Whenever I see like red markings now, all I can think of is like Cortifex and the Vanguard zombie stuff. Then we have like this part, which we've already seen from the previous trailer. We get our first look at Ted, who's like in the ground, popping out of a busted up Project Janus logo. It looks like you go and pick him up and you can like take him with you. So this is confirmed the Pack-a-Punch. It says straight up above it, which I think like it was already theorized that this was Pack-a-Punch on the back of the truck, but now it's 100% confirmed. It says Pack-a-Punch over it. So Pack-a-Punch is on the vehicle, which is pretty sick. And here we see like one of the upgrades. We have like the Abomination head on top of it. We have the Wonderwaff like mounted gun for it, which looks sick. And it seems like this is where you put Ted. It's like on the truck, like right there maybe is where Ted's head is. Gobblegum machine, which we already knew Gobblegums were coming back. This shot right here where it looks like there's another golden box. Like, I again can't really tell anything that's on it, but the car's right there. But this shot, it's like just a whole bunch of shit mashed together. Looks pretty sick, honestly. I don't know what that is, and probably the only reason why I'm about to say this is because my friend Dallas told me the other day that apparently Buried is like gonna be coming back, a Buried remake or whatever for the first DLC map. But this building just reminds me of Buried. Oh, I think this building is where you get the truck from, because I think they just drove it out from here, and then like to the side you could see that there's the Gobblegum machine that I was looking at, and the car's obviously down there. So I think this is where you get the car, or maybe a spot where you can spawn the car or something like that. Armor buy up there obviously too. These zombies look crazy. Like, I know they're not all that colorful or anything, but just like something about the like gray silverish tone to them with the yellow eyes just looks crazy. Judgment Square, just running over all the zombies. Oh yeah, there's Ted. So I was right. It is you do stick his head like in the console or whatever. Yep, here's the diner. The only reason I recognize diner so much, I don't remember. I think, is diner where you would spawn in transit, or was it like random where you would spawn? Basically, I just have memories of always being left at diner. Like anytime that I would play transit, which wasn't very often at all, but I just always remember being left at diner and having to survive here by myself, which never lasted very long. Exit 115, nice little callback. And there's also that. I don't really know what that is. It's just a sign, or is that like a perk machine or something? Is that like Elemental Pop or some shit? Well, there's Elemental Pop for you right there. So it's not whatever was outside. Okay, so I think this is a trap, because there's another trap handle. There's this. It looks like it is like that's rotating blades or whatever. Here we see Toxic Growth returning from Cold War. I didn't use this a ton, but I would see a lot of people use it, especially in like Firebase Z, doing the camera grind spot there in the office or whatever. That's also where I did like most of the Cold War camo grind, was in that office. I ended up using Ring of Fire instead of Toxic Growth, but very, very fun and very, very welcomed field upgrade for sure. What is this? Some sort of like cube looking shit underground or something? A better look at it. Yeah, I'm sure you like zombies nerds who like know all the lore and everything probably recognize what that could be. I don't have the slightest clue, obviously. Yeah, we have the jump pads here. Yeah, what is all this color? Oh, is this the fireworks ammo mod from Black Ops 3? I mean, surely it is. Cinematic as hell with Nikolai diving over the top of him. We have so the Wisp T perk machine. First look, it must be awakened. What a pause from the young lad, huh? I was trying to go back and look at the perk machine. I don't know what must be awakened. I guess this must be something with the twins. Twins can't be trusted or whatever is what I'm assuming. Okay, back to the Wisp T. Very Japanese. Like, this is obviously like a Japanese vending machine style, and then obviously you have like the temple, the castle design up here. Very, very nice. So it must be awakened. Closer look at what I assume are the twins. Whatever this is. Can't really make out anything that's like over here. Maybe that's all like Russian shit. X5. What is this? I don't really know what that is. Here we have like the Project Janus. I gotta stop calling it that. The Project Janus like courtyard or whatever they got sucked into the dark ether or whatever. Spawn area is what I'm assuming. Rampage Inducer making a return. Oh, here we get like the first little look of the new wonder weapon. There we go. It's like a glove claw thing, so it shoots like antimatter darts or some shit, and I assume this is like a melee weapon as well. It looks crazy. Well, let me go back to before. Like, look at that. Is this what was on the screens? Because I'm just like saying that this is green and that was green, so maybe this is what was on the screen. It does a lot of shooting of like these spikes or whatever, but I don't see like a melee happening, so maybe it's not like a melee weapon. Maybe it's just a glove that shoots these darts or whatever. I'm guessing this is the inspect. I mean, look at that. That looks so good. Oh, these are like, so that pops back out. So can you recall them? Yeah, that's another one that's popping. It doesn't look like this is like going in reverse or anything. So yeah, I think you can recall these things. And there's like toxic stuff that comes out when you recall it. And is that what happens here? They recall through the horde. That's sick. You still don't ever see like an actual melee attack with it, but fully upgraded wonder vehicle coming through with the abomination lasers. That's sick. You can see they're leaning out the car too, so like car leans, those are coming back. And the bear. Look at that thing, man. Ugh. Holy. And back to this picture. Before they drop the absolute nuke that we get to play in beta, man. That's so sick. And then I'm assuming this is like the death animation to the bear. Ugh. Squelchy. Alright, I've spent 30 minutes on this trailer already. Dear God, man. So let's hop right into those blog posts. Try and get these done as fast as possible. Alright, all you need to know about Black Ops 7 Zombies, full gameplay deep dive, and a tour of the launch map, Ashes of the Damned. So if there's anything that we already know, I'm just gonna skip it. I only want to know like the new stuff. Alright, narrative overview, not gonna worry about it. I'm probably gonna skip through this as well, number one because of time, but number two, I kind of want to experience it all for myself for the first time without like reading too much into it. So if there's anything in here that's like super important that I like miss, please let me know down below. But yeah, I kind of just want to experience the map for what it is without reading all about it. You know what I mean? So I am just going to scroll through this. Alrighty, Wonder Vehicle Old Tessie. Ashes of the Damned has a deadly network of roadways to travel between its main locations. Fortunately for you, there's a rusting pickup truck nearby that looks tough enough to withstand an undead battering, though it isn't quite battle ready yet. This truck is tough, but it isn't impervious to the forces of the Dark Aether, and after a severe battering, it can become temporarily inoperable. Keep an eye on its reinforced steel frame and react accordingly if Old Tessie needs a pit stop. Methods to repair this Wonder Vehicle remain to be seen. Okay, cool. So you can't just like sit in there and expect to remain safe forever. I like that. Those who explore carefully enough may even discover a series of upgrades to improve their chances of survival. From a familiar former bus driver's head to a mountable DG2 turret. Hell yes. The wonder weapon is called the Necrofluid Gauntlet. Ugh. In addition to blasting maggot sacks to atoms with the classic ray gun and the ray gun Mark II, so those will be on the map, there's a brand new wonder weapon to wield in Ashes of the Damned. Upon discovery, the Necrofluid Gauntlet is a black skull-fanged glove that glows with a bilious greenish hue. This ancient artifact seems to be deadly at both melee and long ranges. Okay, cool. So it is like a melee weapon. Its umbral surface veins choked by a viscous liquid that the gauntlet seems to control. In fact, the entire weapon seems alive and hungry, which I love this inspect animation. Command the gauntlet, and the dark liquid can be reshaped into powerful spikes that shoot forth, skewering targets at range before being summoned back into the gauntlet, inflicting further damage. It's rumored that the Necrofluid Gauntlet has vampiric tendencies, very interesting, and can also pull in items and power-ups from a distance. Yo, this thing seems cool. Okay, Ravagers. Said to be a tortured minion of an unknown evil, the Ravager prowls the Dark Aether on all fours, usually in packs, lurking in the shadows until the moment it can strike. Drawn to material spoils, the creature consumes salvage and other dropped provisions, a habit that can directly impact your survival in the field. Yo, these things are going to be annoying! So they could just steal your shit. Packs of Ravagers are especially dangerous, overwhelming squads with relentless flurries of sharp-clawed wounding. More than just scavengers, Ravagers can also latch onto moving vehicles, even at high speeds. Okay, so it seems that these are going to be like the main threat to your vehicle when you're out in the fog or whatever. These Zursa, it looks so good. An apex predator twisted by the Dark Aether, the Zursa is no ordinary bear, but a hulking undead monstrosity whose thick hide and parasitic infestations make it an elite level threat. Driven by madness and aggression, it mauls with bite and claw strikes that not only deal heavy damage but also wound victims, leaving them vulnerable to lingering harm until they recover. Just disgusting. When the Zursa roars into combat, expect it to charge in on all fours, battering through teams or slamming into old Tessie. As if its raw strength weren't enough, the Zursa is host to parasitic insects called zombies that swarm from hive-like growths, infesting the beast's fur and skin. These clouds of stinging death and chaos, or add chaos, to an already fraught fight. When taken on alone, the Zursa is a towering menace. Amid other threats, it becomes a mauling engine of devastation. Sheesh. So, some changes to enemies. Audio cues. Did you hear that? Expect to hear a special round audio stinger when zombies' strength increases as the rounds progress. Okay, cool. I like that. Fewer super sprinters. Really? Fast-moving zombies, aka super sprinters, which start to appear at higher rounds, will increase in frequency at a lower rate as rounds continue past 55, and the maximum number of super sprinter zombies in a round will be lowered slightly while still keeping the challenge high. Okay. I mean, I'm cool with that. That's like a good like high round thing for sure. Armored zombie adjustments. Heavy and light armor zombies are weighed down by their protective skeletal armor and are slower and more durable. Okay, sure. Armored zombies no longer super sprint in high rounds. Okay, I mean, this all sounds good to me. Overall, zombie armor is more easily destroyed, but more durable against explosive splash damage. Okay, so this seems like it's going to be easier to take armor off with like normal bullet weapons, but if you're using like Sally's, for instance, it's going to be harder to remove their armor now, which is fine. Certain weapon and attachment combos are more effective at armored zombie takedowns. Certain weapon and attachment combinations are more effective at armored zombie takedowns. Okay, so does that mean that we're like changing attachments, so we're actually getting like more zombie specific attachment effects on attachments? Because if so, massive W, like finally, because it's really just the suppressor that like it just gives you more salvage, but like literally nothing else matters, like at least, you know, specific to zombies. Obviously it's nice being able to have like the maximum mag size and like building into movement speed a little bit. Like, I'm not saying that that doesn't matter, but those aren't like zombies specific like pros on attachments. So if they're adding more, sick, I'm all for it. Sliding knockdowns. Sliding into a normal zombie knocks it down but doesn't inflict a lot of damage. Okay, cool. So that's like the PhD slider thing. It's like there's not an explosion for it, obviously, but you can still like knock zombies down by sliding into them. That's interesting. Jump pads allow players to navigate across the vast landscape of the map rather than brave the thoroughfares of this hellscape for a nominal essence fee that's comparable to an inexpensive door buy. So like, I don't know, like $7.50 or whatever. You interact with the jump pad console, which may have more than one destination available, and choose your landings. So for the ones that have multiple destinations like this, do you just stand to one side or the other? Or like, do you activate this panel specifically to go that way and activate this panel to go this way. You're then instantaneously launched into the skies, traveling in a vast arc over the map and landing at a second landing pad in the chosen location. Jump pads are useful in a variety of situations, like assembling a team in a hurry, navigating without the need for old Tessie, or quickly returning to a previously explored locale to obtain a valuable item like a self-revive kit or perk. Sick. These saw blade traps. So yeah, this is 100% a trap. Survivalists lost in time to the Dark Aether seem to have gathered a variety of junk equipment and fashioned it into a viciously effective chimera of a trap. A small plastic doll sat on 3 megaphones. That's a doll? I didn't even know there was a doll. Below which is a chainsaw with circular saw blades embedded into it, attached to a vehicle engine and connected to a power switch. Flip that switch by expending essence, and a haunting beat complete with soft wailing sounds wafts through the ether. The eerie music attracts the zombies, the multi-bladed chainsaw brings the carnage, and any nearby undead foe gets minced into offal. The hell is offal? The internal organs and other edible parts of an animal. Delicious. Alright, part 2, dark preparations, modes, and loadouts. So for Black Ops 7, we will have the standard mode that we're used to, directed mode. We have survival, which we saw we're going to be able to play in the beta, delivering a focused, unfiltered experience based on a small part of Ashes of the Damned at launch. There are no quests other than you and your squad surviving against the relentless undead for as long as you can. Alright, sick. I was kind of hoping there would be like some like small side Easter eggs or something to do in these, but I mean, it's fine. And then we have cursed mode. So the leak from Ghost of Hope was correct. Cursed mode is take on a new experience featuring some legacy mechanics, with numerous side quests to unearth increasingly potent and cursed relics. Activate these relics to face harder challenges in exchange for new levels of power, replayability, and rewards. So this is apparently like the classic mode. I don't know what they mean by unearth increasingly potent and cursed relics and activate them to face harder challenges. Like, this seems somewhat similar to, I forget what it was called in Destiny. I know they have something new, like a new name for it, where essentially you when you're like launching into a Nightfall, for example, which is just like a hard mode of a strike, essentially, you would be able to pick and choose your modifiers, and based on those modifiers, you would get like more or less score, and then the higher your score is, the better your rewards are. Now it's called something different. I don't know what it's called, but that's what this seems like to me. So let's dive into curse mode real quick. Tailor-made for the hardcore, crafted for those seeking a more demanding experience, with new layers of challenge to discover and overcome for access to unique rewards. This is one of Black Ops 7's biggest innovations, directly inspired by feedback from the zombies community. You can't even enter Cursed until you've fulfilled certain criteria. Really? Once you've figured out how to access the mode itself, you'll start your Cursed match with some familiar friends. Only a trusty pistol in your hand with no loadout weapons available, no minimap, and a classic point system inspired by Black Ops 3. Alright, sick. Listen, I'm not a Black Ops 3 like classic zombies enjoyer personally. I really didn't find zombies all that fun until Cold War, which I know is heresy. But I'm very happy that like the hardcore, ever faithful zombies community are getting what they want with like this like classic mode, being able to go back to mechanics that they are like nostalgic to them and stuff. Because I think more player choice is always just the best way to go. From there, your focus is on finding archaic artifacts of great power hidden away across dark aether, time, and space. These are known as relics, each one themed around a totem from Black Ops Zombies history. Every relic has a unique condition to discover it, and the requirements needed can be unforgiving. These cursed relics aren't simply here to display in a trophy cabinet. They provide a debuff modifier, making your subsequent matches even more challenging. Each relic offers a unique challenge to overcome, and once unlocked and applied to a match, several of these modifiers can enable further restrictions that longtime fans will find familiar, like a limit of 4 perks or the removal of ammo caches are just 2 examples. With relics becoming available in varying degrees of cursed power, your future cursed matches, available as private matches with the host's collection of relics available to pick from, I like that a lot, are set to become even more hectic as you hunt down more dangerous artifacts. Each Black Ops 7 Zombies map will also have more relics to discover throughout the post-launch seasons. Why curse yourself by choosing relics to increase the challenge? because doing so is the key to unlocking more powerful relics, as well as granting you classified benefits and rewards unique to the mode. Very nice. Very, very nice. Good luck, you will need it. Alright, I still don't really see myself engaging very much with this mode because I just don't really see much of a point. Because it still just doesn't appeal all that much to me personally. But again, this is such a massive W for the people who have been really wanting a return to like classic form zombies. I am ecstatic for you guys to be able to hop into this. Maybe my friend will drag me into these, but I wonder if you're going to be able to do like a lasso for zombies. Like lasso, it's legendary all skulls on from Halo. So in Halo you would find different skulls in the like campaign maps, and you would have to complete the mission with that skull in your inventory, and then you would unlock some kind of modifier. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. But then once all skulls were unlocked, you could do a lasso run, which means you're doing it on the highest, the campaign on the highest difficulty with every single skull, every single modifier active. And it's like the pinnacle of PvE Halo. So for this, I'm wondering if you're going to be able to turn every single relic on. So you could do like a Camaro, a classic mode, all relics on. I don't know. Caro maybe, whatever. But yeah, I mean, this sounds like such a massive W for people who really want to engage with zombies in a more classic way. So now we hop into some survival intel. The first survival map coming at launch is a focused, bite-sized experience set on the Van Dorn family farm that lies within the larger round-based zombies map. This is just a taste of the main event waiting for you in Ashes of the Damned, providing an opportunity to jump in and simply slay some zombies with no distractions. Okay, I'm liking what I'm hearing with that. In survival, you, and optionally your teammates, venture within the perimeter of a map, in this case the farmstead, and hold out for as long as possible. There are fewer places to run, Old Tessie is out of commission, and tactical positioning is the key to keeping the undead forces at bay. Once the power to the farm has been restored, you have a focused plan to survive for as long as possible, but with little chance of escape. Any accessible caches and machines available in standard mode appear in an identical location in survival mode. Any other interactive crafting tables, wall buys, or machines not in the standard mode area of the map are moved into the survival map, allowing you to be fully tooled up, provided you've got the necessary essence and salvage. Okay, I was kind of hoping that for these maps, they would just sort of be self-contained to whatever sort of like perks or ammo caches or whatever that were in that area in the larger map. So it's sort of like a bite-sized piece of what only that locale offers. But I don't mind that they're adding the other stuff too to sort of make it a complete experience within this locale. I don't mind it at all. I just kind of assumed that it would only be like what's there in the main mode. For example, in standard mode, Van Dorn Farm doesn't have a Pack-a-Punch or Wonder Fizz machine, so both are dropped into the survival mode map. In survival, your options are clear. Fight for as many rounds as you can, judging the best time to flee via exfil before you're overwhelmed by the dead. Okay, so you do exfil. I haven't seen like anything about Peck or Raptor 1, so I just kind of assumed that exfil was like not happening, but I guess exfil is happening, which is fine. I like exfilling. I think it adds like a victory state to zombies, which doesn't typically have one. And I know that's that's probably a pain point to some people, but I like it. And it will be playable in the beta. Massive W. I cannot wait to hop into the beta. Which, just as a reminder, I will be hosting a sponsored co-stream from Call of Duty of Next, where I will be able to give away beta codes. So if you want to hang out and watch COD Next and you want some beta codes, feel free to stop by. I will be streaming it on YouTube, so this very channel. So yeah, stop in if you want a chance at some beta codes. All right, match preparation loadouts, which is cursed exempt. Okay, but there are some confirmations and changes. So build codes and zombies preferred builds will both be in zombies. There will be 30 weapons to level up and unlock. Weapon prestige. Yo, there's an all new disciple injection. And then you also get like the Black Ops 7 ordnance, which we assumed. But there's a disciple injection now? Yo, did I like miss that somewhere back here? I feel like that's not something that you just haphazardly throw in. Like, I feel like that's something that you would be pretty keen to show. Yo, I just scrolled up all the way back to the beginning. There is nothing anywhere about the disciple injection. They just like randomly threw that shit in. What? And also for melee weapons, they will now inflict critical and more damaging attacks. Triarch, if you change the military camo on melee weapons to now be critical kills like bullet weapons are, we're gonna have a sit down and talk. Please, for the love of God, do not change melee weapons to need criticals now that they can crit. Please. All right, new and returning features. So we have Essence and Salvage. We already know what those are. Doesn't look like there's any changes. Oh, except right here where it says Black Ops 7 changes to Essence and Salvage. So Gobblegums can now be recycled to receive instant additional Essence. Really? The amount you receive is determined by the Gobblegum rarity. Sick. Okay. So is this like a in-match thing, or can you do it from like the loadout screen where you can just say, I don't really want the... Well, I guess if it's to receive Essence, it has to be in-match, huh? Okay, that's interesting. I like that there's a way to like get Gobblegums out of your inventory. Like, especially if you don't want one and you like accidentally pick it up from the Gobblegum machine. Now they just need to add a way for you to get rid of perks that you don't want and ammo mods that you don't want. Those are like two of my biggest wants in zombies, which I know seems pretty weird, but like when you're doing the camo grind, for instance, and like you need to get kills with a certain ammo mod on, you throw that on obviously, but then at the end of it, sometimes you'll want to take it off because that ammo mod can steal kills from other challenges. Like the amount of times where I got napalm burst kills on manglers, and that doesn't count towards getting specials killed for Opal in Black Ops 6 because that was a kill from your ammo mod and not from your weapon too many times. So I would love being able to take an ammo mod off of my weapon, and same with like throwing on elemental pop so that I don't get any more like random ammo mod effects going off, or like melee macchiato, taking that off so I don't have that like awkward punch when I don't have my melee weapon out. Just some examples from me personally where I would like to be able to take those ammo mods or perks off, since you can now do that with Gobblegums, which is sick. And I'm not even asking for like an essence or salvage, return. I don't really care about that. I just want to be able to remove them. The salvage bonus from certain silencer attachments that perform similarly to their Black Ops 6 counterparts have been lowered, so other muzzle attachments become a valid choice. So if you want other muzzle attachments to be a valid choice, why would you not make them more appealing? Why nerf the only attachment that has anything positive towards zombies? Because guess what? Because you didn't change any other attachment, at least not that I can see yet. I might just be talking out of my ass and they'll tell us later, but from what I can see, there's no other attachment changes. So if all you're doing is nerfing the amount of salvage that you get from the silencer while not buffing anything else or adding new effects to different attachments to make them more appealing, the only thing you're doing is just nerfing the ability to obtain salvage. That's all this does. This doesn't make any other attachment more appealing in the slightest, because everything else that comes on other muzzle attachments is useless. I don't care about bullet velocity or damage range or anything like that come on these muzzles. None of that matters in zombies. Not a fan of this at all, because it doesn't accomplish anything that you want it to. It's just a straight up nerf. Amassing missed salvage. If you find salvage hard to come by, expect some help in this regard. Every 10 rounds, you're awarded around 50% of any salvage you previously missed picking up, and which subsequently disappeared, along with an on-screen message indicating it's good fortune. Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. It kind of reminds me of I think in Cold War, after 10 rounds in Cold War, you would get like gifts of salvage. I'm pretty sure, right? Like you would get like 1,000 of the blue salvage, and then like however much of the green salvage or whatever, right? Am I making that up? Am I pulling that out of my ass? I think that's how it works. But this is just straight up like the salvage that you miss. I'm sure this doesn't include any salvage that gets eaten by the Reavers, the Ravagers. Yeah, Ravagers. So I assume that this doesn't include anything from the Ravagers, like whatever they consume, that's probably just gone. But I mean, that's fine. That's cool. Okay, so power-ups, the changes to power-ups. The max ammo power-up now fills your equipment as well as your ammunition. Wow. So if you see a max ammo, you can just chuck like both your Casimirs and then pick it up and you immediately get both back. That's a really nice change. The fire sale power-up now also temporarily reduces the cost of traps and wall buys. Huh. Okay. Usually when I'm playing, like I don't hit the box like at all ever, and I know that's like a huge part of the loop of like old zombies, but I don't find like the gameplay loop around hitting the box over and over again very interesting or fun personally. So I always avoid it like the plague, but I also avoid it because I don't want the ability to spawn a fire sale, because that feels like it's just a waste of a power-up for me who doesn't use the box like ever. But now that it reduces costs of like traps and wall buys too, that makes it a lot more interesting to me, especially like the traps. Wall buys I still don't really use, but like I would say that I use wall buys more than I do the box. So I like that change. The random perk power-up has been added to the randomly drop power-ups available. Really? A number of perks must be purchased by all teammates before the power-up can appear. Okay, that's really cool. I like that. Just a random perk. I assume this is going to be like stupidly rare, but multiple power-ups randomly dropping within a single round is now a more frequent occurrence. Thank God. The only time that I would ever see multiple power-ups drop is when I'm on Citadel doing like the oil trap thing for like camo grinding or whatever, when there's just like absolute hordes being killed all at once. That's like the only time I would see like 2 or 3 power-ups drop at a single time, which is nuts. But yeah, never if I was like playing for like high rounds or anything, I would never see multiple power-ups. There's a new Gobblegum power vacuum that increases the chances of power-up spawning after zombie kills. Alright, sick. Any gums that summon power-ups like Killjoy, On the House, and Hidden Power now automatically activate the power-ups they summon, adjusting the tactics of when to employ them, removing the need to physically run into them. Thank you. That was so annoying. Like, especially for the Killjoy. Like, if you're in, like, an oh shit situation, you're like, I could really use an insta-kill right now. You'd pop it, but then when it spawns, the entire horde is, like, already covering exactly where it spawned. So then you have to, like, train them out of the area to go back around to get it again before you could use it. So massive W on that. All right, some enhancements overview. There are new research diagrams for every enhancement, as well as new powerful buffs to wield across the Dark Aether. We are getting 12 perks, 1 new, that being Wisp T. We're getting 6 types of ammo mods, 1 new, which is Fireworks. And then 1 new field upgrade, which is Toxic Growth. There's going to be a set of augments to unlock and use, some returning augments. I was kind of hoping that there would just be like all new augments. But okay, so they've received tuning changes and tweaks. So forget some of what you know and prepare to learn some new tricks. Okay, cool. So it looks like they did tweak them just a tiny bit. They're probably mostly the same, but for each returning enhancement, expect 6 augments from Black Ops 6, so the ones that we already unlocked, plus 2 brand new augments. So you get 1 major and 1 minor for every single returning one. Okay, that's cool. At least we're getting something. Black Ops 6 augment research continues with all your completed augment unlocks for every returning Perca-Cola ammo mod and field upgrade accessible in Black Ops 7. Massive W there. Research all 8 augments in your research diagram. And you can then unlock the extra slot minor augment, which enables you to equip a second minor augment in-game. What? So you'll have 1 major and 2 minors? Very nice, very nice. Once you fully research a specific perk, ammo mod, or field upgrade, you have a total of 8 augments, with 3, 1 major, 2 minor, being active during a match. Sick. You may have noticed 2 Black Ops 6 ammo mods, Light Mend and Shatterblast, and 3 field upgrades, Tesla Storm, Frostblast, and Mr. Peaks, aren't listed as returning. I didn't even notice that because I didn't even read any of this. They aren't listed as returning, but expect them all to appear, each with 2 new augments and an additional minor augment select to unlock to bolster your offensive capabilities still further during Season 1. Okay. I wonder why these specifically are returning in Season 1 and not at launch. That's interesting. Maybe I could understand like Mr. Peaks because of how recently it came out. But like Frostblast, Tesla Storm, Lightman, Shatterblast, those came out in Season 3 and 4, right? Mr. Peaks is the only one that came out in Season 5. Unless, was Shatterblast Season 5? I can't remember now. But, I mean, that's fine. I really didn't intend on using... I like Shatterblast a lot. I probably would use that one, honestly. And I probably would use Mr. Peaks as well. I've been having a lot of fun with it in Black Ops 6. But I don't ever use Frostblast or Tesla Storm or Lightmend. So, all right, general changes to augments. There is another blog post about augments specifically. Okay, so it does look like these blogs, like this does cover more than this one does. So I am going to skip this part of it for like the augment stuff. Since we have something else that covers it. That also goes into the ammo mods and the toxic growth. So we'll go straight to something to chew on. Black Ops 7 Gobblegum. When multiple players are accessing a Gobblegum machine, expect a small cooldown every time you obtain a Gobblegum to allow other teammates a chance to interact with the machine. Cool. Power up summoning Gobblegums. Yeah, we saw that. Exit strategy. Now automatically exfills the player who used the Gobblegum, counting as a successful exfil. This is partly due to the new exfil feature in Black Ops 7. Okay, well now I'm super curious what the exfil is going to be. Because what do you mean it just exfils you immediately? Or sorry, it doesn't immediately, it automatically exfils the player. That wording is kind of weird. Because I don't know if that means like you pop it, the vote pops up, and then as soon as the vote passes, it just bam ends, or does that mean that it automatically starts the exfil event or whatever? Which isn't that what it already? Whatever. It says we'll see later, so I guess it'll explain it later. Okay, we have one new rare Gobblegum called Aftertaste. We have 2 new purples called Requipment and Power Vacuum. We have 2 new oranges, Round Off and Armageddon. We have 1 new red, which is gift card. No new whimsicals. I still think they need to turn whimsicals into like match modifiers, especially since they made cursed mode, so you know that match modifiers are a thing. You know that you can do that. So why I still don't know why whimsicals aren't just match modifiers instead of, because like every whimsical you get could have been like a perkaholic or a gift card or whatever. But I digress. So Aftertaste, the rare, keep all your perks after being revived. Sick. Activates on revive. Doesn't say that it lasts a certain amount of time, so I assume you just get it and pop it, and then anytime you go down after that, it will activate. Okay. Requipment. Your equipment slots refill over to... Ooh, for 5 minutes, your equipment slot refills. That is sick. I like that. Power vacuum. Kills have a higher chance to spawn power-ups. Round off. Rounds prevented from advancing for 2 rounds. Rounds prevented from advancing for 2 rounds. So what that sounds like to me is similar to like what directed mode does, where you complete a round but you're at the round cap, so the round doesn't turn over, or I mean it turns over but the number doesn't increase. So you could do round like 4. I don't know why you do it on round 4, but you could do round 4 3 times technically before it would advance to 5. Okay, I mean that's fine. That would especially be nice like after you've done the Easter egg and you're ready for boss fight, but you're just like farming more essence and stuff to be able to fully upgrade your equipment. It'd be nice for that, to be able to pop that. Like if everybody has one, you would be able, the last like, 3 or 4 rounds would actually last like 12 rounds or, whatever that math would end up being. So you don't go into the boss fight on round like 30 something. I like it. All right. Armageddon. Receive a 3-plate armor vest and full plates. Wow. And that's only a legendary? I thought that sounds like something that would be like an ultra, like getting max weapon rarity. That's kind of crazy to me that that's a legendary. Because that's just like a free 14,000 essence that you just don't have to spend anymore. It's kind of crazy. And then we have gift card the Ultra, which is gain 30,000 essence. Cannot be combined with other. They knew not to let it be combined with other bonuses, because immediately what comes to my head is, okay, everybody load in with gift card, somebody have a double point, and everybody have profit sharing. So pop profit sharing, pop the double point, and then everybody pop your gift cards. And that's like 180,000 essence off Rippies or something like that. Whatever that math ends up being, which would be crazy. That's still that's an insane amount of essence. Recycling your gums. It can be crushed during a match while they're in your inventory and converted into essence on the fly. It's removed just as if it had been consumed and essence added to your inventory. Okay. So instead of using it, you crush it. The amount is dependent on the rarity, with Whimsical being the lowest and Ultra being the highest. Double points does stack with the essence reward. Profit sharing also stacks with it. And it may be disabled for specific zombies game modes. That's interesting. All right, Rampage Inducer. Rampage Inducers won't spawn super sprinters until round 20. All right, that's a pretty good change. I like that. Weapon wall buys. Weapon wall buys now allow you to purchase ammo at a discounted price for the weapon indicated on the wall buy once that initial wall buy weapon is bought. All right, sick. To be honest, I thought you already could do that. So it's news to me that it doesn't work that way. And then armor wall buys have been combined, allowing you to purchase level 2 armor, then level 3 from the same armor wall buy. They'll continue to offer you a full repair if you have the essence once you purchase. So you can't just go straight to tier 3 armor. You actually have to buy tier 2 armor first, similar to like in Cold War. Well, I don't like that, if I'm being honest. I liked being able to just go straight to tier 3 armor. I could count on one hand the amount of times that I've bought tier 2 armor, if I'm being honest. I don't even think it would be 5 times that I bought tier 2 armor. I think every time I just saved up enough to go straight to level 3, which I guess you could do the same thing here, but like now there's not really a point. I guess now that I'm thinking about it, it's not like there was really much of a point to not buy tier 2 before. Well, I don't think it was cheaper. Hold on, now I'm like struggling to remember how, because I like really never bought tier 2 armor. Did buying tier 2 armor reduce the price of tier 3 armor at all? Similar to like if you were to buy blue rarity, it would make gold rarity for your weapon cheaper. Whatever. We'll have to see how it is. I really hope that this doesn't like being forced to buy tier 2 armor. I hope that once you buy the tier 2 armor, it makes tier 3 armor cheaper, or there's a way to just go straight to tier 3 armor or something. I don't like not being able to skip tier 2 armor, if I'm being honest. I don't like that at all, because that felt like hey, I'm good enough to be able to survive with 1 plate until I have enough for 3, so I'm not going to waste the money on a tier 2 armor buy. I can just go straight to tier 3. But now it's like, okay, well, now what's the point? I have to buy tier 2 to get to tier 3, even though I don't need it. Anyways. Oh, these were ammo caches. So they redesigned the ammo caches. So they look, I mean, that's Mr. Peaks right there. They look more, they look like they belong in zombies more than just like generic ammo boxes or whatever. That's pretty cool. I like that. New looking audio. They are specific to each weapon and increase with Pack-a-Punch like they already do. Wall buys are now another way. Yep. Mystery box. Yo, that's a sick mystery box. It's no longer just the regular wooden box. That's really cool. The mystery box now has a chance to provide an Aether tool to instantly upgrade your weapon's rarity, and support items no longer appear in the mystery box. Melee weapons no longer appear too. Massive W. And the chance to obtain wonder weapons now gradually increases more, but are still rare. Okay. Huge upgrade for the mystery box. Okay, maybe I become a mystery box truther now. Who knows? I like these changes. I like the changes to fire sale even more now. Crafting table. Still crazy to me that they just randomly dropped a disciple injection earlier in the blog instead of giving it its own little like time in the sun. But we'll now have the sight grenade, which we know about, the hunter bot, which was revealed on Monday, cluster grenade, and point turret, which we saw on Monday. Okay, so now it's showing the disciple angel. Why would you not just hold that information until here? So you temporarily transform into a disciple, obviously. You have grab and hurl, which raise a normal zombie into the air and hurl them at other foes, inflicting powerful dark aether damage. You have drain life, which focuses your feeding powers to slow down and drain the energy from any normal, special, or elite zombie. And you have unholy scream that releases a sonic blast that stuns those caught in the audio emanation. So you don't get to like summon some like charmed zombies or anything, some turned zombies. That's a little disappointing, I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, this seems more like a crowd control injection rather than like the Mangler, who's like a lot more offensive and tanky. Definitely interested to try that out. I did not think they were going to go any further into like the lethal injection shit, but hey, I'm all for it. The arsenal machine is coming back. Obviously, we saw that. The drill instructor's back. Let's go. It's the best part of the arsenal machine is the drill instructor. I hope he has like the same voice lines, but more new ones too. Because, I mean, what an iconic soul. Salvage costs for rarity upgrades have been adjusted from the Black Ops 6 values to further incentivize mystery box and wall buy use. So now things cost more. Yeah, because this is up by 500. Blue is the same. Epic is down by 500. And Legendary is the same. Am I high, or is this the same amount of salvage? So that's 1,000, that's 2,500, that's 4,500. 9,500, which is 500 salvage more total compared to the 9,000 that it was in Black Ops 6. But I'm tweaking. How is it 500 more if... So this is 500 more, but this is 500 less. It was 2,500 to get to purple if you had blue, because it went 500, 1,500, 2,500, and then 5,000. Or was it 500 and then 1,000 and then 2,500? Because maybe it was 1,500 to go straight to blue. So it's plus 500 here, plus 500 here, minus 500, and then this stays the same. So I think that's what it is. So it's 500 more total, but it's more here, less here, same. So it seems like it's going to be harder to upgrade in the earlier stages, but then get easier later. But you'll also have less salvage drops because they're nerfing the suppressors without giving you any sort of actual improvement to anything else in there. But I'm not going to go off on that rant again. All right, the Pack-a-Punch machine. Oh, we get to see the Pack-a-Punch camo. Yo, I like this. This is probably going to be another niche reference, but this reminds me of the three fingers in Elden Ring. Like the Chaos fingers or whatever. Or sorry, not Chaos, the frenzied fingers. That reminds me of them a lot. I'm fucking with it. So in Ashes of the Damned, it is mobile. It's clamped to the exhaust on old Tessie. It will be stationary in survival mode. You can enable or disable the camos or by bashing the machine. There are more investigations needed to fully understand the secrets of the Pack-a-Punch machine in Black Ops 7. That's interesting. I wonder if that's going to amount to anything or it's just like a weird random sentence. TED tasks. I'm assuming these are going to be your new SAM trials. It's a strange interface console with an oversized TED. Access it, then complete a specific time task. The rewards increase in rarity depending on how well. Yeah, these are SAM trials coming back. You can get equipment, tools, and random perks. HUD presets and customizations. Don't really care. Okay, exfil phone booth. What the hell? With Raptor 1's fate currently unknown, you won't be relying on a helicopter airlift to exfil you and your team when the going gets overly chaotic. Fortunately, an archaic German Telefonzellen booth, repurposed as a cosmic gateway portal, can be called upon both literally and figuratively to extricate you from the mayhem. These booths activate periodically through the match. The phone rings, and if you answer it, a portal is conjured where the player requested the exfil. However, this also brings in a fearsome HVT entity and its minions. This HVT and its underlings must be slain before a time limit expires, and if successful, the portal becomes fully accessible. Fail and you die horribly. Alright, so it seems like the exfil, it's a phone booth now instead of a helicopter, but it seems like it acts pretty much the same. During the fight, all the other phone booths throughout the map start to activate their own portals. Step through these portals and they link to the phone booth with the HVT. This allows other teammates elsewhere on the map to quickly teleport in to lend a hand. Sick, awesome. Like a fast travel to the exfil site. I'm all for that. It's important to decide whether to participate in the exfil or not. If all teammates accept, you should all focus on slaying the HVT within the time limit and escaping via the phone booth where it was summoned to end the match. If all teammates accept and you fail, you are all overwhelmed by zombie forces and fail to exfil. New to Black Ops 7, if some teammates decline, they can choose to help or ignore their fellow players engaged in HVT combat. Whether the HVT is slain or not, players declining to exfil can continue in the match afterwards without penalty. Players who voted to accept the exfil will end their match whether they defeated the HVT or die trying. That's super interesting. So if you decline the exfil, it says that you can stay without penalty. But does that also mean that you can't exfil if successful? Like, obviously you could activate another exfil, but I'm just thinking of like a meta where, like, say you have 4 people playing, you activate exfil, 3 people decline, 1 says yes, so just in case you fail for whatever reason, all of you don't wipe. Only the sacrificial lamb you sent out there dies. But I assume if you decline exfil, you can't just change your mind in exfil. You have to go through another exfil event, is what I'm assuming. Alright, melees can crit now. We saw that. There's now heavy attacks, which I think we've already had heavy attacks. Yeah, heavy attacks we've had, but they're now slower but able to deal more damage. I'm pretty sure they already work like that. A new feature for Black Ops 7 zombies is Overheal, a modifying buff that allows players to temporarily increase their max health using certain augments or equipment. Here's how it works. The most you can raise your health by combining augment effects like Juggernaut's Probiotic Augment and the Stim Shot equipment, for example, is plus 100 health above your current health maximum. Employ specific tactics and you can increase your health still further. This bonus to your health is temporary, meaning unlike your regular health, it does not regenerate over time. The bonus is lost once your current health drops below the normal maximum, but it can be temporarily reacquired. So you can just like build into overheals essentially, using different like augments and equipment and stuff. I mean, alright. I don't really see why this was necessary. Like, I felt like health was in like a pretty good spot, especially if you're nerfing like super spinners and stuff. I don't mind it. I'd feel like this wasn't really something that was like super needed. So maybe in like specific like high rounding situations or some shit. But auto revive on new round. When a round completes, expect any player in a prone position to be auto revived. As noted in the augment section of this blog, damage types without a hit location, like Deadwire's Lightning Strike, are no longer automatically considered crits. This also applies to any equipment and some traps. Okay, so they're nerfing the trap crit strategies like the one in Citadel. But automatically reviving any player at the end of rounds is sick. Like if somebody goes down, especially on like Ashes of the Damned, like if somebody goes down across the map because for whatever reason you split up, being able to just like end the round and get them back up, very nice. Up for a challenge, zombies gameplay systems. So there's an impressive amount of content. Much of it can be unlocked across all game modes, along with a thoroughly rewarding camo grind, all new weapon prestige, and much more. Some confirmed gameplay system features. We have new intel, like audio logs and artifacts. Save load rejoin is back. I'm hoping they remove the timer, or at least give a way for you to refresh the timer. Like, if I pause and 15 minutes go by, but then the timer runs out, it automatically unpauses you, right? And that's like to prevent people from saving games for like hours on their servers because it's all online, which they could just make it to where it's not all online, but like that's a separate issue. If we're keeping it all online and we have the pause timers, it's to prevent people from like being paused for hours and hours and hours and putting more of a stress on their servers. But if you make it to where after you unpause, you can pause again and it will reset that timer, that means that people can't just AFK while they're paused, right? That just means like, hey, I actually needed to be paused for more than 15 minutes, but I'm still here. And I can refresh that because I'm actually here. Dead Ops Arcade, I played it like once or twice. It's not really my kind of game. But who knows, maybe it'll be good. Now, 15 years since the original DOA, Black Ops 7 resurrects the chaos with Dead Ops Arcade 4, Papa Back in Black. Dead Ops Arcade, the actual story. Across battles with the dreaded Cosmic Silverback and his vengeful kin, his brother Cyber, the Mama Back, and now the Papa Back, the fight rages on. In Dead Ops Arcade 4, the Silverback family isn't holding back in its desire to win back their pet chicken from the player, who has attempted to abscond with the beloved bird named Fidolina over the course of the past 3 games. This time, the Silverback clan isn't messing around. The Papa Back has taken up the mantle of this challenge to keep the players' hands off their chicken once and for all. Alright, so the gameplay. Yo, hold up. So that's like Nuketown. Wait, this shit actually looks kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie to you. Is this Citadel? Ready up for a journey through the Silverback Trail and take on a multitude of unique arenas, mastering numerous weapons, both familiar and brand new, to reach the final showdown with the Papa Back himself. Play solo or in a team of up to 4 players. There's 20 unique arenas and an unprecedented 80 levels of chaotic action to reach the confrontation with Papa Back. Over 10 bonus rooms to encounter as well. Yo, they got the Z-Rex here. That looks familiar. I'm not 100% remembering what that is right now. Is that firing range? This reminds me of the tomb. I mean there wasn't a big ass skull in the tomb, but just like the vibe. This also reminds me of the tomb with like the sky. More than 10 weapons, both new and classic, include the Wonderwaff and the Jet Gun. Multiple Silverback challenge events that feature a different kind of chaotic experience, such as Reedon's Rally. Drop into an ATV and race around the track, not stopping to avoid any obstacles. The Fall 100, a descent through a hazardous chamber as you collect treasure and avoid instant death. The Room of Fate Mountain Challenge, a milestone chamber where you get to pick an armament fate to choose for the rest of the game. There are 3 all-new Slayer map experiences, which really turn up the heat. If the player manages to survive, they have access to the Slayer Mart. The player can purchase over 70 powerful upgrades here, allowing them to push further into the Silverback territory. I don't know why. This is like sort of giving me Risk of Rain vibes. Not like as heavy on like, you know, like opening boxes to find new items and all that shit. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't played it, but like being teleported to a shop and all this kind of stuff, that's very Risk of Rain to me. Over 30 DOA style pickups returning, along with some cool new additions such as a mutant injector, sick. Over 20 different enemies to face, including mini bosses from new and previous zombie maps. Find extra firepower to face down the Z-Rex. I knew that was the Z-Rex. The Zursa is going to be in it. The Guardian Golem. So that was Citadel. And a Mega Abomination. Access multiple insanely overpowered vehicles to control in combat. For the first time, familiar round-based zombies gameplay mechanics are also available in Dead Ops Arcade. This includes ammo mods, field upgrades, and gobble gums. Sick. Ammo mods and field upgrades occupy the same function in DOA 4 compared to zombies. Select ammo mods, field upgrades, and gobblegums have specific effects that may differ from regular zombies. Want that original experience? Don't worry, there are modes available for purists without any round-based mechanics present. There are multiple ways to play with twin-stick top-down action interspersed with first-person areas. There's casual, which is a more forgiving experience with round-based elements. There's standard, which is regular difficulty with round-based elements. There's hardcore, which is coming post-launch, which is classic gameplay as the Papa Back has taken away your gums, the Slayer Mart, and a few other luxuries. And there's standard advanced start, also post-launch. Begin your next standard solo game at the highest round you previously achieved. Stats, challenges, and leaderboards are not available. There's first-person modes if you prefer that experience, only in casual and standard modes. And then progression confirmed over 5 modes. Player progression is now also tied to Dead Ops Arcade 4, meaning you can level up in 5 separate modes. Co-op campaign, multiplayer, zombies, along with Dead Ops Arcade, and then Warzone is Season 1. Really? That's very interesting. I like that. So no matter what you're doing in the game, you level up. Additional comms, Call of Duty Next, beta dates, and more. We already know all of this. Except now we know that we get to play zombies in the beta. And just a reminder, I will be giving away beta codes in my stream during Call of Duty Next. It'll be right here on this YouTube channel. So if you want a beta code, or if you want to just come hang out, definitely come by. Alright, that's it for that one. Now let's hop into the final blog, which is all about augments. So round preservation. Anytime an augment enables an enemy to be charmed, like brain rot, Charmed zombies now avoid slaying the last zombie in the round, allowing you or your teammates to inflict the final blow, especially helpful if you're kiting while investigating a map. Thank goodness, man. Very, very nice change. Bigger game, which means all big game augments for ammo mods will receive a buff to damage or frequency that they trigger. Sick. Love that. One shot, one chance. Augments that operate on a per shot influence regarding ammunition or weapons that have multiple pellets or an area of effect damage now have a very small cooldown so as not to make them an overwhelmingly effective for those weapon types. So slight nerf, I guess, to that. I guess we'll see if it's noticeable at all. And then augment examples include Dead Again for Deadshot Daiquiri and Critical Eye on Death Perception. Makes sense. Alright, Wisp Tea and Augment Intel. Wisp Tea, you drink to summon a companion wisp after killing zombies. Very interesting. Is there like a video? No video to show it in action? No? Okay. Sick perk machine. So the perk specializes in adding a protective ethereal creature that remains near the player, appearing only after the player inflicts a large amount of damage to the enemy. Use of field upgrades, equipment, and other high damage items quickens the summoning. Oh, thank God. I thought I was about to say that it doesn't count towards the summoning. Once summoned, the wisp begins to slay nearby zombies for around 30 seconds. 2 minutes later, it can be summoned again. The wisp is summoned after defeating a number of zombies. The number is important rather than the speed of slaying, though obviously the wisp will appear more quickly if the enemies are killed with haste. The wisp targets all zombie types indiscriminately. Sick. It also realizes the importance of turning around or refrain from killing the last zombie remaining. Super sick. Love that can. Holy. The Wisp T major augments, you have Mask of Wrath. The demon does more damage. Alright, sick. Mask of Salvation. The fox can revive you while it's active. This can be done up to 3 times per match. Okay. Alright. I was not expecting it to be like a support item. Mask of Distraction. The monkey attracts enemies and does damage in an area. So it's like a monkey bomb. Sick. Mask of Benevolence. The maiden does not attack but will periodically heal you. Alright, interesting. These seem pretty... really unique. And then the minor, we have Extension, which increases the wisp's lifetime. We have Haste, which decreases the cooldown before a wisp can be summoned. We have Zombie Sitter. The wisp will attract and avoid damaging the last zombie in the round until the round times out. So it doesn't just automatically not kill the last zombie. You have to use Zombie Sitter. It says it'll attract it as well, which I think is different. Because that means that you don't have to use like Mask of Distraction. And it's also nice if you're in there solo, it can babysit the zombie. So it seems pretty useful. I kind of was just like, wait, you have to use this so it doesn't kill the last zombie, but I don't think that's the case. Anyways, we have Fetcher. The wisp will pick up items and power-ups for you, aside from the nuke. Sick. Really, really liking the augments for this thing. Kind of upsetting that we're only getting 1 new perk, but I'm at least happy that we're not going to get all the old perks drip fed again and all that kind of stuff. So small wins, I guess. Der Wonderfizz updates. The base purchase price of Perca-Colas is based on previously purchased perks, and increases to the price now don't include ones you may have obtained for free, using power-ups, gobblegums, or Easter eggs, for example. Oh, super sick. Hell yeah, I love that, actually. The Wonderfizz machines become available at round 25 in Black Ops 6, but in Black Ops 7, the arrival of a Der Wonderfizz machine is dependent on you and your teammates. It now also arrives after a certain number of perks have been bought, including repurchases by all players. The way I'm reading this is it still spawns at round 25, or you can make it arrive faster if you're buying a bunch of perks from the actual machines. Because, like, for instance, if everybody loads in and pops a Perkaholic, that means that the Wonderfizz wouldn't spawn at all if it was only this. But because it also spawns at round 25 now, it'll still spawn around 25, even if you pop a Perkaholic and aren't buying perks from their machines, is what it sounds like. So, W. Returning Perca-Colas, we have Juggernog with new augments. We have health increased when all of your armor plates are broken as the new major augment. Still probably not enough for probiotic to use over probiotic or even reactive armor. I think I would rather even use reactive armor over that. And then the new minor augment is incoming damage will occasionally be significantly reduced. So it looks like the hardened plates damage mitigation has been reduced slightly on this one. Oh, so it was an adjustment to turtle shell too. So the armor completely absorbs damage to your back while also now allowing normal damage mitigation to your front. I mean, that actually is like a pretty big buff to it. Because that was the biggest thing, was like all the damage had to be at your back or else this augment was just useless. But now you get normal damage mitigation as if you had armor from everywhere, but you receive no damage at all if it's from your back. That's a pretty good change. Still not enough for me to use it, but I like that they're trying. And then as for this one, it's still probably not enough for me not to use hardened plates or even durable plates. So there's probably going to be no change for me with Juggernog. PhD Flopper, there's an adjustment to PhD Slider. Effectiveness when side swiping has been reduced. This augment triggers when impact occurs during the direction of travel. I did notice that sometimes the explosion would go off when you weren't going into the zombie. So I think this is just a change to make it to where you have to actually be going in for that to trigger, which is fine. And the new major is Double Whammy, which releases a second explosion shortly after the first one. Unfortunately, I don't think that's enough to make me not use Slider, because the only time that I activate the explosion in PhD is when I'm using Slider. So I don't think that's going to change the major for me. And there's an adjustment to Tribologist. So both the sliding speed increase and the general speed bonus have been lessened slightly. There's a new minor augment called Stuntman, which means wall jumping creates an explosion. I don't mind that. I don't know how effective it's going to be, but I don't mind that. That seems interesting to me. All right, next we got Elemental Pop. No adjustments to the majors, but now we have Rainbow Pop. Weapons with an ammo mod equipped have a chance to deal the elemental damage that an enemy is weak to. So, like, if you're going up against, like, an Abomination, but you have Napalm Burst on, there's now a chance that your weapon would deal electric damage, which I'm pretty sure that's what Abominations, or sorry, not Abominations, Amalgams is what I meant. So Amalgams, I'm pretty sure, are weak to electric. So if you had Napalm Burst on, using Rainbow Pop, you would have a chance to be doing electric damage to it instead of the fire damage. That's pretty sick. I don't know that it's enough to get me off of Electric Cherry or Citrus Focus. I really don't like Elemental Pop unless Citrus Focus is on. Because, like, I don't want to randomly charm enemies if I'm using Deadwire or something. So, like, I'm pretty much always running Citrus Focus unless I'm, like, going into a boss fight or something. And then I'll usually use Electric Cherry for the like, AoE. But this is still interesting. I like it. There is an adjustment to Vulnerabine. It has been lessened by a modest amount. So nerf to Vulnerabine. And we have Refreshment. Killing a special or elite enemy with its elemental weakness resets your elemental pop cooldown. Alright. I usually use Chillberry, so the ammo mod can go off more times. Either that one or Vulnerabine. I don't know that this is interesting enough to me to be able to use it, but we'll see. Melee Macchiato is getting an adjustment. So the damage of each punch continues to increase until round 30. The punch itself is faster. Expect different damage multipliers depending on the melee weapon you use. That's interesting and weird. There is a new one called Mocha Mall. The punch is replaced with your dedicated melee weapon. Really? Okay. I actually like that a lot. Although this is an instance where I would like to be able to remove perks, because if the punch is replaced with your dedicated melee weapon, does that also mean that, like, you don't get the forceful hit? You know, because, like, in Citadel, for example, when you're doing that, you need Melee Macchiato to break the wall to be able to, like, see the symbols and, like, match them with the cans and stuff like that. But if it replaces the punch with your melee weapon, will it still have the same effect of, like, punching and being able to break shit? Because if it can't, and you put Melee Macchiato on, this is also where it would be really nice to be able to swap your augments mid-match. So you could take Mocha Mall off like for that step if it does fuck it up. Anyways, for the minor augments, we're getting an adjustment to strength training. So this number of rounds you can one-hit kill normal enemies has been increased. I don't know how many rounds it increased before. I don't know how many rounds it increases to now, but and then we also have a barista brawl, which means gain more essence from melee kills. Very nice. That's actually really nice. Because I'll be honest, like I threw on stick and move just because I'm not married to that augment, but with barista brawl to have more essence from melee kills. Definitely want to use that one. And especially because you can equip like multiple minor augments now. Barista Brawl is not getting taken off. Ever. Alright, Vulture Aid. No adjustments, so we have Armormatic. Picking up an armor plate automatically applies it to your vest. Alright, I know a lot of people like that. I don't. I enjoy picking and choosing when I can apply my armor. But I know this, like, a lot of people wish that that armor would just automatically apply. So that's nice for them. I'm not going to use it personally. We have an adjustment to Picky Eater. I already knew that this one was going to get nerfed. And then we also have Extra Serving, which is special and elite enemies you kill have a chance to drop a large essence vial. All right, love that. 100% putting that on. So I'm definitely running Picky Eater and Extra Serving then. We'll see. Carrying luggage now is more enticing to me because of the nerf to salvage drops from suppressors. So maybe it's Picky Eater and Carrying Luggage. Or hell, maybe Carrying Luggage and Extra Serving. I think Picky Eater is still the best one, even though it's nerfed. But we'll see. Double tap. We now have Double Dealer. Every fourth bullet in your weapon magazine deals double damage. Okay, like I can see as a way to like guarantee that you know when the double damage is coming. I don't think it's all that interesting to me, but I can see for like min-maxers how this could be really nice. Wow, no adjustments at all to double tap, just straight new stuff. There's now double down, so bullet weapons have increased penetration damage through enemies. Yes, yes. Yes, very, very nice augment for this. Very excited for that. That will not be coming off. Alrighty, now on to Quick Revive. There's an adjustment to EMT. Players with this augment now keep up to 5 of their perks when revived. So you don't keep all of them anymore. So a nerf to that, which kind of sucks. A nerf to equivalent exchange. Now you always go into your last stand pose. Quick Revive is no longer removed on use, and you keep all perks if you kill an enemy while downed. Sorry, it sort of is confusing to me. Were there times using equivalent exchange that you wouldn't go into your last stand pose? And because it doesn't remove Quick Revive anymore, can you still only do it up to 3 times? And keeping all perks is really nice. No change for Dying Wish, and we also have Adrenaline Rush. Killing a special or elite enemy will start your health regen. Alright, I mean it unfortunately is never going to be able to compete with Dying Wish or equivalent exchange or even EMT. Like those are just such strong augments for survival that I just don't think Adrenaline Rush is going to be able to compete, unfortunately. And then there's no changes to the minor augments, but you get Emergency Medical Kit. You can now craft a self-revive kit up to 4 times. Okay, that's really interesting, actually. So I'm probably going to run that one along with, I mean, if I'm playing by myself, probably Slow Death. All of the minor augments kind of blow if you're playing solo. This is a really nice one for solo play. All right, Deadshot Daiquiri. There is an adjustment to Dead Again, so crits have a chance of adding a bullet to your mag, but now the cooldown has been added. And then there's Dead to Right, so bullets deal bonus damage to enemies within point blank range. Okay, probably not gonna use that over any of these two, if I'm being honest. And then no adjustments to the minor augments, but you get Dead Heat. Temporarily increase your movement speed after getting a point blank kill. Well, I can tell you that that's not getting used over Dead Break at all. maybe that's the second minor perk or minor augment. I just don't think that's very interesting at all. Maybe combine, like if you're doing melees, like you're using a melee weapon or you're grinding melee weapon camos. Actually, I can see this being really nice because all of your kills are going to be point blank kills. So you're basically have a permanent movement speed buff. So for that specific instance, I can see that being nice. It's unfortunate that Dead to Rights specifies that bullets deal bonus damage instead of like you just straight up deal bonus damage in point blank range. Although I assume that that multiplier might get like crazy with you know the other buffs that you have to melee damage. But really, I think the only time I'll ever run this is if I'm like running a melee weapon or something. Death Perception. There is an adjustment to Critical Eye. There's a cooldown that's been added, and it does not work with explosive weapons or wonder weapons. And that's for the body shots becoming critical shots. That's fine, I guess. And now we have Sixth Sense, which means you can see enemies close behind you and take less damage from behind. How do you see enemies close behind you? I don't understand what this means. Take less damage from behind is nice, but I don't... Is it like a... Does it give you a warning or something that there's enemies close behind you? Which, I mean, they already give you an audio warning, but... Hidden Gems, Death Perception can now see loot. Okay, fine. Stamina Up, you can now fire while sprinting. That's actually kind of interesting. I feel like that should be built, like, into the base perk, if I'm being honest, but fine. And then Footwork increases non-forward sprinting speed. Probably use that. I think that's, again, sounds fine. I honestly feel like both of these should be built into the perk, if I'm being honest. Speed Cola, we have Ammo Surge that gain a burst of speed when initiating a reload. Alright, I still feel like this is probably the weakest one, maybe. Still very interesting though. And then you have Prestidigitation. Reloading has a chance to not use stock ammo. Okay, very nice. I 100% am going to be using that. Alright, that is it for the perks. Now we're getting into the ammo mods. So we have some fireworks. Each bullet that hits a normal or special enemy has a chance to launch fireworks that target enemies. Last seen in Black Ops 3. This ammo mod is brightly colored as it is deadly, filling the air above and illuminating the nearby combat zone in a fiery light show, leading to a series of firework explosions that detonate and rip the undead apart in a vivid display of wanton violence. This is probably why they nerfed AoE blast damage to shields. As the initial explosive light show has occurred, damaging zombies caught in the vicinity, stars are launched into the skies before exploding. The subsequent explosion launches a set of individual flares from the stars that fly out and home in on additional random threats within the general vicinity. The chance of fireworks activating depends on the enemy type, and once the light show is over, expect a small cooldown before it is available again. So it doesn't seem like this is elemental at all, but it seems like it's just like concussive damage, explosive damage. For the augments, we have Big Game, which is like on every single one. Starburst. Fireworks explode immediately, sending flares through enemies in all directions. Ooh. We have Weeping Willow. Instead of targeting enemies, the flares will land on the ground and explode for a while. And then we have Fire Wheel. Create 2 fire wheels that spin around and damage enemies. Okay, so like this seems like a way to add some elemental damage to it. So Fire Wheel and Starburst are the 2 that caught my eye the most. And now into the minor augments, we have Starlight. Fireworks launches more flares. We have Big Bang. Fireworks flares deal more damage to specials and elites. We have High Yield, which increases the area of effect. We have Short Fuse, so the cooldown is reduced. These all seem pretty standard. I feel like you could run any mix of all of them and it'll be effective. So now we have the returning ammo mods, of course, with new adjustments and augments. So Brain Rot, the major augments, their elites will be charmed more frequently with Big Game, and there's now Caustic Fumes, which means charmed enemies deal toxic damage to nearby enemies. Alright, sick. And then we have the Super Serum, which increases the damage dealt by charmed enemies. Sick. Both sound good. Napalm Burst. There's an adjustment to Big Game, the same one that we've already seen. And we have Petroleum. So Napalm Burst leaves a pool of fire on the ground. Firebomb is still really strong. It is very effective at taking out large groups of enemies. So I'll be willing to see how good Petroleum is, especially if it scales really well, which I expect it to, but we'll see about that one. And then for the minor augment, you have Backdraft, which increases the activation radius. Cool. That also seems pretty good. Next, we have Shadow Rift. It gets the elite treatment. And then we also have Gravity Well. So Shadow Rift becomes a black hole that pulls in enemies before teleporting away nearby enemies. Okay, so you just turned Shadow Rift into a Casimir. Sick. I'm all in. Next, you have Ammo Theorem, which teleporting enemies away adds ammo to your weapon magazine from stock. Alright, both of those are very interesting. I'm all in on both. Next, Deadwire gets the Big Game treatment. Ball Lightning is the new major augment, which activates an Launches an orb that deals electric damage to nearby enemies as it moves. Okay. I still like Lightning Strike better, I think, personally. And there's also Aftershock, which means enemies that are stunned by dead wire have a chance to spread to nearby enemies. So isn't Aftershock just Chain Lightning? So you just get to run essentially 2 majors if you choose that as one of your minors. Okay, I'm not complaining. Cryo Freeze gets the big game treatment, as well as Cold Company has a chance to activate on more than one enemy at a time. Sick. There's also an adjustment to Ice Cloud, so there's a cooldown to lessen the number of Ice Clouds appearing. That's kind of an L. Thermal Shock, enemies are damaged once they're unfrozen. Alright, so it's like a shattering damage, essentially, if you've ever played Destiny. Alright, that is it for the ammo mods. So next, let's get into the field upgrades, starting with Toxic Growth. Summon a deadly growth of thorns in front of you, supporting a more defensive playstyle and extremely useful if you're guarding a narrower entry point from an advancing horde. Toxic Growth allows you to deploy a thicket of viciously sharp thorns that have the additional benefit of being poisonous. Hold down to block pathways and or incoming enemies with the latest in mutant plant life. Add a powerful improvement to your capabilities and inflicts toxic damage. This bush of vines grows rapidly on the ground with a specific width, height, and depth to learn the dimensions of to aid in tactical placement. And enemies that move through Toxic Growth are slowed as they are poisoned and torn apart as the Toxic Growth weakens before finally disintegrating after time or after inflicting a set amount of damage. Toxic growths don't harm you or your teammates. No more than 3 toxic growths can be active at once. Alright, let's hop into the augments. So for the majors, we have Urdicant. Toxic growth takes up a wider area and enemies that enter the growth continue to be slowed after leaving it. Alright. Cordyception. The first normal or special enemy to walk into the growth is entangled and charmed, attacking other enemies that enter. Very nice. We have Pollination. Enemies killed by the growth explode, dealing toxic damage to nearby enemies and slowing them. And then Zuckery, the first normal or special enemy to walk into the growth becomes the toxic growth itself. So it just becomes the bush. It starts playing Fortnite. Alright. I'll probably use either Urdicant or Cordyception, personally. Alright, minor augments. We have Ankle Shredder, so enemies moving through the growth are even slower. W. Green Thumb, which increases the toxic growth health. The extra charge increases the charge, and then Plant Food. Killing enemies with toxic growth has a chance to drop a healing fruit. Interesting. I'll probably use extra charge because that's just, it's so strong to having multiple charges. And then probably Ankle Shredder too. Maybe Plant Food if we're doing like high round stuff. Yeah, I mean even Ankle Shredder seems very strong for high round stuff. Alright, so for Dark Flare, an adjustment to Dark Pact, the revive speed has been increased to ensure down players are revived more rapidly. Sick. Definitely makes this a more interesting pick with that change. And then Muzzle Blast, the beam now deals additional damage in a cone in front of you. Alright. And then the new minor augment is Dusk Flame. Enemies that are hit by the beam are dealt additional shadow damage over time. Okay. So still probably going max charge. I've like never used this thing. And I don't think that any of these changes make it any more interesting to me. So we'll move on to Healing Aura. No adjustments to the major augments, but we do get Necromancer. So Healing Aura can now revive it can now revive dead allies. Wait. So when it says dead allies, this isn't downed allies. This is dead allies, like people who are spectating, right? That's what this means? If so, very, very strong. What? Like, I know you're probably not going into these games expecting your teammates to die, and this is also probably an argument against being able to like switch augments mid-round, because like if somebody goes down and dies, you could just throw Necromancer on and then take it off later, I guess. But still very strong. And then the minor augment is Cornucopia. Affected players get a health overcharge. Alright, sick. Alright, Frenzied Guard. New Fists of Frenzy. While frenzied, annihilate enemies with your fists. Alright. Hell yeah. And then new Dual Layer. While Frenzy Guard is active, armor durability is increased. I thought that it already did this. So needless to say, this will be on all the time for me. Next into Energy Mine, we have Smart Mine. It has more detonations and waits for multiple enemies to be in range for each detonation. Wow. I like that. I use turret mostly, but Smart Mine? Maybe. We'll see. And next, the minor augment is Recycle. A deployed energy mine can be recycled for field up. Sick. So you can just pick up energy mines up off the ground now. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, Aether Shroud. Really, there's no adjustments to Aether Shroud. I thought for sure they were going to nerf some shit on Aether Shroud. But now you have After Image, so you distract enemies with a Dark Aether clone of yourself. Fuck yes. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah. So finally, enemies don't just like run away from you all the time as soon as you go into Aether Shroud. 100% this is what I'm using now. Unless I'm like running with friends, in which I'll probably, you know, I'll use Group Shroud, but 100% After Image using it. And then we have Impulse for the minor augment. Deal shadow damage to enemies on activation and increase your movement speed during Aether Shroud. Definitely using that plus the extra charge. For sure. Actually, maybe I'll use Extension instead of Impulse. I'll try them both. See what I like better. But that is it for all of the different augments, for all the different things. Okay. Whew. 2 hours and 40 minutes straight just talking, bro. Oh, and there's like a behind the scenes thing too. It's Twitter quality, so it's gonna be shit, but let's watch this real quick as a nice cool off.
Without a doubt, this is one of the most ambitious zombies maps we've ever made.
We're doing a ton of dope and we're just getting started. Ashes of the Damned is huge.
It is the darkest and creepiest map we've made, and it's just terrifying and surreal, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah, the art direction
When you
of this
first
map
come in,
is so
you
sick.
are in a crashed Janus Towers that has fallen into the dark ether.
You come out of
nice.
the rubble
All the towers
and you
are
see
actually
this
there.
vast landscape with all of these unique locations connected by roads that are really deadly. And zombies are spawning much
like
higher
spores are
rates,
back.
and you need old Tessie to get from destination to destination.
Yes.
We're introducing Tessie, the new 5th member of your squad.
You find this broken down, incredible looking vehicle. You really want to drive it, but it's not working.
You'll have to go in and find Ted, the first upgrade to the vehicle.
Once you get Ted and Ted is installed in the truck, he brings Tessie to life.
Old Tessie and Ted together again.
And once you
Sick.
get to Ashwood, we need the Pack-a-Punch to get stronger to survive. So you take the jet engine and install it in the back of Tessie. And so now you have a mobile Pack-a-Punch machine, but you also have a boost functionality.
The third upgrade
Nice.
is the Abomination Carcass. When this is added to the vehicle, its durability against zombies is increased. And the coolest thing that the Abomination heads can do is the laser attack.
It's pretty
Nice.
amazing. It's pretty
like
gross.
Headlights, but
And then the final
Lasers.
upgrade is adding that DG2 turret to the roof.
This is the first Wonder vehicle that we have where every member of the squad can participate. There's a driver, there's a turret seat, and then for the 2 other players, there are things in the world that you want to be protecting the vehicle from.
gnarly ass bear.
We have our new elite enemy, the Zursa. This thing is this
The
giant
Zursa.
zombie undead bear.
It's super
we had
cool
to
that
have
they have
something
a
that is equal
truck,
to the
like a
vehicle to feel
actual real
intense, to
truck,
fight
too.
and scary. It also is covered in beehives that shoot bees at you.
We call them
Jeez.
zombies.
The zombie.
We are also introducing our new enemy type. The Ravager is a twisted humanoid being.
It really has a dual role, either attacking
So are the
you
Ravagers
or
the
sometimes they'll
specials for this
prioritize stealing your stuff.
It jumps on your car, it rips it apart. It jumps on your car.
Role,
Sorry,
either
real
attacking
quick.
you or sometimes they'll prioritize stealing.
That's cool. So you have like an ammo drop from like killing a special or an elite or something. And this thing will just run up and start eating it.
Stealing your stuff.
It jumps on your car, it rips it apart.
Fucked up.
We wanted to make this thing have that danger to it, that shrieky element to the vocalizations and to the whole sound design that, yes, this thing is small, but this thing will mess you
Got a mystery box back there too.
up.
That's a crazy screen.
Wisp Tea is a brand new perk coming to Black Ops
Yeah,
7.
so
This
this
is
is what
with
the,
that
the
will
wisp
attack
looks
the
like.
closest zombie to you.
And depending on how you augment it, can revive you, it can
Yeah,
heal
I
you,
see.
it can
So it
do
takes on
additional
the
damage and
shape
shoot other zombies.
Of the major
Fireworks is the
augment you
ammo
pick.
mod that we're going to be bringing. When you shoot a zombie, it spawns a bunch of fireworks and they spiral out and take out other zombies in the area.
We want to make sure that BO7 is an interesting and a dynamic experience for both new and unfamiliar players and seasoned hardcore players.
We have survival maps for casual players. We have directed mode for our beginner players. We have curse mode for the hardcore players.
Curse mode is really about focusing on our most engaged players and giving them additional challenges. The idea is that once you finish a main quest on a map, we unlock these things that we call relics. And so you're choosing how you want to make the mode harder, but
So
by
you
making
open up
the mode harder, you're
curse
also
mode
going to be
by
opening up a
completing
lot of
the
new
Easter egg?
content. We're actually going to increase your power levels. There's also some Easter eggs that
Increase
are only
your
going to be
power
discoverable when you're engaged in curse mode. We're not holding back this year. I don't think
What's
players
that
are going to be
mean?
ready for what they're about to experience.
I think is the most atmospheric and dark map we've had.
The vibe of Ashes of the Damned is absolutely insane, and we're just getting started.
Dude, fuck yes. All right, well, that is going to wrap it up for the Zombies deep dive. Y'all have heard me talk enough. I am so excited to hop into Zombies, especially now that it's at the beta. I'm so excited to hop in. I know this was a long one, so if you stayed as long as you did, just know I appreciate you. Feel free to drop a comment, drop a like, subscribe. Also, don't forget to tune in to the COD Next broadcast here on my channel. I will be giving away beta codes, just to reiterate again. I appreciate y'all, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace!